thunderous District 13 round of applause. Welcome to the 2024 District 13 Winter Toastmasters Leadership Institute. I always wondered what that stood for. TLI. And Club Officer Training. Our TLI team has put together an action-packed, festive day of learning and fun. We're delighted to have DTM Linda Starr, our Region 5 advisor, join us this morning via Zoom. We will have her in just a moment. DTM Dave Jones will follow her with a captivating presentation on artificial intelligence. Isn't that fun? We'll take a short break and then invite you all to attend one of the various club officer trainings, breakout sessions prepared for you. We'll have lunch at noon. Reminder, this is not an all-you-can-eat buffet. That is called Thanksgiving. We have a total of 60 members that will be joining us today, and we want to make sure that everyone gets their plate of food. At 12:45, DTM and past International Director Russell Drake will share a few thoughts on leadership. Then DTM Dana Mitnick and our District 13 historian will delight us with the history of our illustrious District 13. We'll end with announcements from the trio and closing remarks. Let's get started! Our first speaker is distinguished Toastmaster Linda Starr. Linda Starr is the Region 5 advisor. In this role, she works closely with district leaders to help them on their path to success. Linda joined Toastmasters in 2006, following a performance evaluation, and became hooked on the opportunities Toastmasters provides for self-improvement and to assist others in attaining their goals. Her home district is 83, where she is a member of Dining to Speak Toastmasters and What Exit Toastmasters. She has served in every club officer role in addition to district officer roles as conference chair, newsletter editor, parliamentarian, and district leadership committee chair. Professionally, Linda is currently an instructor at Keene University in Union, New Jersey, in the communication department. She has served as account director and marketing communications director for several award-winning public relations agencies. As a telecommunications analyst with Probe Research and Frost & Sullivan, she covered U.S. carriers, broadband, mobile, internet, telephone, and internet conferencing. She holds a Master's of Arts from the University of Pennsylvania and a Bachelor of Arts from Rutgers, the State University of New Jersey. Let's give Linda a warm District 13 welcome.
Thank you, everyone. I'm excited to be here. Logistically, let me just ask a question. Do I need to share my screen, or that's being done from
Tell her no.
in-person location?
Tell her no.
No.
No, she doesn't need to share it.
No what?
No, you don't have to.
Just say when to click.
Okay. All right.
Tell her to say when to
I
click.
see it now. Perfect. Okay. Great. Oh, there we go. Nice and big. Thank you for that lovely welcome. I'm excited to be here online and wish I could be there in person, but life doesn't always work that way. I'm going to talk to, my main topic today is creating succession planning. So that's thinking about the future. Oftentimes we're very focused on what we need to do now, which is of course important, but we don't think about where we're going for the future and what's going to happen after we are gone from our roles. So we're going to take you through that. Going to talk a little bit about the region advisor role, and want to talk to you a bit about the 100th anniversary of Toastmasters, since of course that is a once-in-a-lifetime occurrence. So if we can have the next slide, please, we will get rolling. I think that I love a lot of things about Toastmasters, but one of them I love is the fact that we are very focused on the member. Most organizations, if you saw a pyramid like this, it would be flipped. Toastmasters calls this an inverted pyramid. So in most cases, you would have TI and the international president would be at the top, and the member would be at the bottom. But in Toastmaster land, we want to focus on the idea that the member is our target, and everyone is serving the member. Sure, you're all familiar with this here, and our leader, of course, our founder, I should say, Ralph Smedley said, Toastmasters is based on the belief in the individual. Many organizations ask the individual to subordinate himself to the group. Ours is the only organization I know that is dedicated to the individual. So Ralph Smedley had this right from the beginning. Sure, obviously we're all members of Toastmasters, no matter what our district roles are, maybe, and of course we know our clubs. The club are the foundation of Toastmasters, and many people don't even know too much about life beyond their clubs. Of course, we have the area division directors. For many people, that is, the area director really is the entryway into the district. So that's where your club officers will meet with their area directors, their division directors. And then of course we have our district. So we have our district leaders. And then beyond that we have region, which is where I sit, and then TI goes on beyond that. Next slide, please. So there is life beyond the districts. I know many people are very focused on their districts, and although we read our Toastmasters magazine, we don't really think about that bigger picture. So this is a diagram that explains that. So we have the region advisor role, and I'll talk more about that in a minute. I don't know, I didn't have, maybe our historian will know. I know back in the day, they did have region conferences and they had in-person region contests, but that was a long time ago. Now the regions really are focused on helping the districts. Beyond the region, we have the international level. So we have our international directors, Russell and Melissa, who are there with you, are and online. They were international directors. And then you have international, you have our second vice president, who is Gauri. She's from Bangalore, India. First vice president is Stefano McGee. He is from Massachusetts, and he is a Region 5 member, so we can be excited to have him. Aletta Rashad is the international president-elect, and she is from South Africa, so definitely an international organization. I personally am very excited that our current international president, Roddy Spear, is from New Jersey and is a member of my home district, District 83. So as you see, there definitely is life beyond the district, but always keep in mind that we are all here to serve the member. And remember that we, as leaders, are also members. And sometimes it's easy to say, oh yeah, I'm the VP, and I'll just, oh sure, you want to do your icebreaker, I'll give up my spot on the agenda for you. And that is a nice thing to do, but at times we have to remember that we are members and we still have our member goals to take care of. Next slide, please. I feel like I should beep. I don't know if you remember, as a child, I had these books, and they were actually on records, 45s, and they'd say, turn the page, beep. I'll spare you my beep, but that's what I think about when I see this. I love this picture. When I started Region Advisor, we went through orientation, and they introduced us to this quote, be the lighthouse for your leaders. Your job is to help them navigate their district ship, not steer it for them. So I think of the Region Advisor role as almost like a club coach on steroids. As a club coach, you go in and you help your club to succeed, but you never want to go in there and say, I'm the king, I'm the queen, you have to do this, you have to do that. And the same is true for the Region Advisor. We are here to help the district leaders, primarily the district director, PQD, club growth director, and the PRM in their role and in the district mission, which of course is we build new clubs and support all clubs in achieving excellence. We also train district leaders. That happens twice a year, one in connection with the International Convention, and one in mid-year, they call it mid-year training, which is going to happen in January in Dallas. I also act as a liaison between the districts and the world's headquarters. And of course, like everyone, we're committed to the core values of Toastmasters. So why I like that lighthouse is because we are here to help, to guide. We're a lighthouse. We're not the Coast Guard. We're not here to discipline leaders, but we're here to help and support them. You may have heard this joke, and I will tell you that joke telling is not my forte. So there's an American ship, and it's coming across, and it sees a light ahead of it, and it said, please divert your course 15 degrees to the north, or we're going to collide. The Canadian response is, no, you divert your course 15 degrees to avoid a collision. And the Americans say, oh, I'm a captain of a US Navy ship. Please divert your course. And the Canadian says, no, you need to divert your course. And the American captain is getting more and more huffy and says, I am the captain of the Lark of the USS Lincoln, an aircraft carrier. You need to divert your course. And the Canadian says, this is a lighthouse. It's your choice. So we are here to guide, but we are not steering that ship. We're not going anyplace. And I just think that's a cute thing. Next slide, please. They tell us as speakers to always quote your sources. And good old Ben Franklin is credited with many sayings. Some of them he actually said, some of them he didn't. But this is another one that is sourced to him. Failing to plan is planning to fail. Which means that you need to know where you're going. You have to have an idea of your goal and how you're going to get there. I like to say you have your GPS in your car, and you can't just say to the GPS, oh, let's just see where the road leads us. You have to know where you're going and have some idea of how you're going to get there. So as I said, my talk today is on succession. When I started as PRM, this was back in 2014, the district director, so this was at the spring TLI, so this was June 2014, and my term was officially going to start July 1st. The district director, I met with the district director at the TLI, and he said, so tell me, who's gonna replace you next year? And I'm thinking to myself, I didn't say it out loud, I'm thinking, wait a minute, will you let me start my role before you're replacing me? But as I went through the year and more roles, I realized the importance really of thinking about who is going to replace you. It wasn't an insult, it was a guide. Because you want to have that next person ready to go, so that we tend to think in terms of, okay, my year ends June 30th, and I have a district leader who, every time I speak to her, will tell me, oh, I spoke to her earlier this week, I think she said, oh, we have 240 more days to go. I don't really think that's the best attitude, but it does give you that idea that people think in terms of, okay, there's a definite end date. And yes, your term will end, maybe area directors, division directors, you'll take a second term. Club officers can take a second term, except for club president is not encouraged, in order to give more people a chance to be leaders. But we tend to get that idea that it's going to end. Toastmasters will not end on June 30th. We've been around for 100 years, and we're going to be around hopefully for 100 more. And we need to keep going and keep thinking about our future. Next slide, please. So what is succession planning? It is the process of identifying the critical positions within your organization and developing action plans for individuals to assume these positions. So what that means is, okay, what are the roles? So you know what the roles are. Those are clearly defined. District director, PQD, club growth director, division directors, conference chair, newsletter editor, club retention chair, and so forth. Then you need to think about, okay, what skills do people need to have to do well in these roles? And which people perhaps have these roles, or how can we develop people to meet these roles? Next slide, please. So where do we find our future leaders? Everywhere. Look at the person sitting next to you. Now everyone, I'm sure, is lowering their head. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. I'm not here. But now you, people who come to training, people who come to contests, people who are already on committees, people who are already officers, people who may have leadership skills already. But Stefano McGee, when he was an international director, he'd say, you don't need to be qualified before beginning a role. And what that means is that Toastmasters is a learning laboratory. So we're here to learn and to build our skills as leaders, as communicators. Now you should have some sort of aptitude for some of these roles. If you're a treasurer and you don't know how to add 1 + 1, you don't know how to balance your checkbook, that might be a little bit too much of a leap for you. I was at your district council meeting, and we were looking for, you were all talking about somebody to be on the realignment committee. That is another entire topic, but the Toastmaster world is going to be realigning the districts. And so we wanted, for that, they were looking for somebody who had been a past district leader and had an understanding of the clubs and which clubs go together, and where the borders are, where the strengths are. So while having a willingness is important, in this case, you really also needed that knowledge. But that's not the case for every role. So people can learn if you are willing to learn, if you're confident, enthusiastic, hardworking, and most importantly, able to work with others. Next slide, please. So there's something called a talent pipeline, which is a group of people that you're grooming. They may possibly be qualified to take on roles. A great way to create that talent pipeline is to have, we'll put that in air quotes, an understudy or shadow 4-year leaders. So somebody who is, they could do it as an HPL project or there might be a project within Pathways that they would work for, where they can see what somebody is doing in a role. This can be at any level. It can be at the club there, in the division, so forth. And what these people, so what they need to learn, what the current person is doing, and there are things that they could help out with. I'm sure your club growth director has a committee. That's a good place for people, being on a conference committee. So there are a lot of roles, contest committees. Very important when you have people doing these roles, you show appreciation. Of course, we're all volunteers, but goes very far in a little thank you. Think back to when you were in kindergarten. You used to they would give you a sticker that you put on your forehead, maybe you put on your hand. Probably not too many of us now who want to have a snowman sticker on our forehead, but you never know. But smallest thank you goes a very long way. It also helps people to avoid burnout. Sometimes we get longer term members in Toastmasters and they're not really quite sure where they fit anymore. Look to these people. They might be looking for just that thing that will help to spur their enthusiasm. Next slide, please. I may have covered some of this already. So look at your volunteers. Look at people who are already helping out with things. Where are they? How long have they been volunteering? There's people, if somebody's been on your conference committee for 3 years now, they're probably ready to move on and help with something else. There might be some people are just getting tired. There's a lot, we all have a lot of pressures on us and they might be ready to leave Toastmasters. But if we can get them back involved, then we can probably save them. Next slide, please. Think about people. So talk more about this in a moment, but one of the roles of a mentor is to see things in people that they may not see in themselves. So get these people ready. Sometimes you will just see somebody and say, you know, that person will be really good for something. We had a fairly new member at a club meeting this week, and she gave a speech, which I thought that is a wonderful, wonderful speech. That speech will work as an international speech contest speech. So I pulled her aside after the meetings and I'm going to talk to you more about this because we need to make sure you get through your level 2s so that you can participate. And she was all excited. This is not something that she had thought about. So this is not exactly a leadership example, but it's an example of finding things in people. Challenge people. It's very easy for people to come to meetings and sit back, whether it's a club meeting or a committee meeting. But sometimes they need that little spark. And you can, as a leader, help to light that spark in them. Next slide, please. Disposition, not position. I got this phrase from a job that I had where people are saying that, you know, people, obviously everyone has their role to do within an organization. And you don't want a brand new person who just graduated college in your company to become the CEO on their first day. They're not just ready. But at the same time, if that person has the ability that maybe they are great at graphics. Now their role is not necessarily graphics related, but it's something that they can do, then get them involved. if there are people who are Toastmasters. Do we know any of those that love to do public speaking? Many people, we all know this. Most people do not love public speaking. We are in the minority. But if there are people who like to do public speaking and get them involved in training or doing things at your work. So this is where this comes through. If you have a positive attitude and a willingness to learn, you can help in many ways. Now, somebody told me the other day that this is actually changing, that I've been in the workforce for probably more years than I'd like to admit, that, and I was taught that jump in, if you can help, try to be as helpful as you can, take on additional tasks. Somebody told me this week that, just as you heard, I teach at the university, somebody told me that recent graduates don't have that willingness as much. It's like, well, if it doesn't relate to my job, why should I do this? So I think we have to teach people, whether it's in Toastmasters or in our professional lives or other organizations, that being helpful is always a good thing. You can teach people skills, but you can't teach them attitudes. So if you get people who have that willingness to help, I would say go with it. You also want to look for people who can deal with challenges, that can deal with those life school hiccups, because we know that you're planning a contest, a conference, whatever it is, there's always going to be things that don't go exactly perfect, and you have to at the last minute think about, okay, why isn't the Wi-Fi working? Why is the person who was supposed to bring the programs didn't bring them? Whatever it is, and be able to think quickly. Next slide, please. Servant leadership is one of my favorite topics. This is the idea, I alluded to this when I was talking about the RA role, that it's not about you as the leader. It's not about going in and dictating what has to be done. It's more about how you can help other people to succeed. How you can help people and the organization to succeed. So if it is, again, if you're planning an activity or you're working with people, if you know that people have certain goals, that somebody has said that they joined Toastmasters and they want to win the international speech contest. Okay, great. How are we going to help them to achieve that goal? Now, maybe you're not the right person to help them, but you can help them find the people who are able to help them, past competitors, past winners. What I love about Toastmasters contests is you never hear people say, oh yeah, I competed against Joe in the contest. People say, I competed with Joe in the contest. And of course, everyone wants to win, or everyone wants to do their best and grow and improve, but it's not about, there's that camaraderie. People will help each other so that everyone can do their best. And that's what servant leadership is about, helping others to succeed. Next slide, please. Mentoring. Mentor can be a noun, it can be a verb. As a noun, it's a trusted and wise guide, an advisor. As a verb, you can mentor someone. You can serve as a guide. You can help people to achieve success. And we think this is a very modern idea, but it really goes all the way back to Greek mythology. When Odysseus gave his son over to mentoring to help him to educate Telemachus, who was the son. And I love that picture. That the mentor is like the watering can, helping that person to grow. Next slide, please. So what does the mentor do? Mentoring is a process. As speech evaluators, we learn how to give feedback, how to inspire people to continue to improve and achieve success. Mentoring is partially that. It's also partially having the mentee or the protege. I always get protege. Yeah, I get prodigy and protege confused. Helping the protege also will help to figure out, to guide the way, figuring out where they want to go, what they need, where do they need help. But the mentor has to be willing to share. They have to be willing to put the mentee's needs ahead of their own. And they have to be patient. Think of it as a long-term relationship. We have mentors, we have coaches. Coaches are more for a specific project. That I'm going to come in, I'm going to help you win that contest. While a mentor relationship is more long-term. Next slide, please. As in a Toastmaster evaluation, mentor helps the mentee by reinforcing what they're doing right. You're not there to push the person down. You're there to build them up. You're there to reward and celebrate successes. And one of my favorite words, you're there to empower. And you always have to do your arm with that. Empower. Give them the strength, the courage that they need to achieve their goals. Next slide, please. Why would you want to be a mentor? From your own point of view, it helps you to build skills. It helps you to pay it forward, pay it back for help that you have received. It gives you a great feeling of accomplishment to know that you've helped somebody else succeed. It also gives you a chance to meet new people, build your network, because you never know. You know, it's that web of life where one person, there's always people who can help you. Next slide, and people you can help. So why would you want to have a mentor? Because you can get that feedback. You can have that accountability. Sometimes we just need somebody to know, that have someone know that they are counting on us. For instance, I will take any excuse I can not to go to the gym. But if I knew that Michelle, if I made plans with Michelle, okay, we're gonna meet 6 o'clock at the gym, I would push myself to be there because I know she's counting on me. Same thing is true in your club. If you know that you've promised Michelle that you're going to do your icebreaker speech in January, you're going to push yourself to do that because you probably don't want to disappoint her. Having a mentor can also inspire you. That same district director who I talked to you about earlier, who wanted me to think about succession, he loved the phrase contagious inspiration. So the same way that a bad mood, if you ever go somewhere and one person is cranky and then suddenly everybody becomes cranky, same thing is true if one person is very enthusiastic, that enthusiasm can be contagious and spreads. So one person pushing you and being excited for you can push you. But you want to make sure that you have the right pairing between the mentor and the protege, so that they can help each other. If the person doesn't have the right skills, if they've never served in that role, or if they don't know enough about the role, or most importantly, I had that in an earlier slide, if they're not willing to to share the secret sauce, the secret to their success, then they're really not going to be a good mentor for you. Next slide, please. So how would you find a mentor? You would want to find a mentor who has done what you want to do, can provide you with objective feedback. They can help you to be motivated. You have to have that right personality. If there's somebody who is more, pushes you with it, maybe you can have the carrot or the stick. If somebody is more stick, you gotta do this and that, we're gonna do this and here's the deadline for that, that might be just what you need. Or it might be the thing that turns you off, and then you don't want that person. If you're like, oh no, this is too hard. I want somebody who's gonna be, you can do it, come on. I'm so proud of you, things like that. It's different if you think back to the very old days of American Idol, when you had Simon Cowell and Paula Abdul on there. So Simon would get up there and say, whoever told you you could sing, you just need to crawl back into your hole. And then poor person, you could see their self-esteem just melting away on the stage. While someone like Paula Abdul, she'd be a better Toastmaster. She'd be like, because she would encourage them, oh, you look so excited to be out there. Too bad you couldn't sing a note, but you were just having such a great time. So it depends on which type of person. There's not really a right or wrong. It depends on which person you would mesh the best with. So can you work with them? Do you respect them? Next slide, please. So to have a successful relationship, you need to have honesty, transparency, commitment. You have to have a mentor. That mentor, the mentee has to be proactive and willing to ask for what they need. The mentor needs to make sure that they are available and will give the person the help that they need, maybe some assignments. They're responsive. You both have to be respectful of each other's time. Now, how much of the commitment is this going to be? And that's entirely up to the people in the role. So you're gonna meet an hour a week, you're gonna meet an hour every other week, you're gonna meet 2 hours a week, whatever works for you. Next slide, please. So one of the many things I love about Toastmasters is that idea is that we work together. Ralph Smedley said, we're the only organization I know dedicated to the individual, work to bring the best in each of us, apply these skills to help others. Many people have said, I think it was Matt Kinsey, who is the past international president of Toastmasters, we join for ourselves, we stay for others. And that's many sides to that, is that we stay for others because of the friendship, the associations we make, but we also stay because we like to help other people to succeed. And we like to think about the future of Toastmasters. And I think that is very important in a leader, is that ability to look to the future. Next slide, please. So there also can be ways to help, other than a person-to-person mentoring program. You can also have tools on your website, educational material to explain the roles. You can look at your networks, because you may not know everyone in the district. You probably don't, but people know people who know people. You could also build a mentorship program within your district. Next slide. All right, so we have a little bit of time, which I think the best way to do this. For the people who are online, you can put this in the chat, and for the people who are in person, if we can get maybe 2 people to answer this question. So what does success look like in your present role, your present Toastmaster role? And what does somebody have to know to be able to fulfill this role? If I can take a couple of volunteers, I'll need a little assistance on this.
Waiting for hands.
So success in my current role is getting more clubs. Keeping the clubs we have and getting more members in them. What do I need to know? I need to know all of you. Because you're going to help me make new clubs, make your club stronger, bring more people. We already have people who started new clubs and we love them. So if you want to know more about how to succeed in my role, come join one of our committees. We have like 3 now. Come be a mentor. Come be a sponsor. Come be that person that visits the new club when everybody's all fresh and excited and give a little speech to show them what Toastmasters is all about. If I can do it, you can do it.
All right, I see in the chat we have a couple of people put things in the chat. Let's see. Liz Kopko says, as BPPR, success looks like increasing awareness of the club and Toastmasters to the local community. To invite new members. Look, need to know what other avenues of promotion can our club utilize. Okay, good answer, Liz. Dave Nicole said, as VPE, need to know, have an understanding of pathways, programs, and club roles. A spirit of encouraging members to meet their goals by completing pathways, projects, and meeting goals. Yes, David, love that. Spirit of encouraging other people. And Scott Dillon said, as VPE, success looks like meetings with full roles and speech slots. Progress through pathways. Yes. All great answers. Do we get one more person in person or should we go on?
Describe what success looks like in my present role. My present role is president of our club. Now, we've been President's Distinguished for 10 years running. So obviously we need to continue that. But what I've learned is I need to teach my members to talk about Toastmasters everywhere they go and to invite guests to every single meeting. Not one guest per year, but every meeting. We have already brought in 5 new guests through this year, and we want to get to 25 members by the end of March, so that when the new season, the new dues rolls over, we'll still have 20. That is our goal, and we want to see everybody grow, because if they can learn to talk about Toastmasters outside the club, their confidence will really increase.
All right, we can go back to the slides, please. All right, so I've talked to you about succession planning and the importance to looking to the future. So what happens if you don't do this? Well, then things can come to somewhat of a stop on June 30th, and there's information that if you just say, okay, I'm done June 30th, bye-bye, I'm out of here, then there's all that information and knowledge that you have that never gets passed on. If you don't have a successor who's committed to the role, then things kind of fall downhill from there. And it takes a lot of time to get a new person up to speed. That's what sometimes I wonder about Toastmasters, there's some of these roles that they say, oh, well, you can only do it 1 year. So a lot of times it takes you a full year to learn everything you need to do. And then, so as I said, it just interrupts the process, flows, and protocols. So you just need to keep things going, keep those wheels turning. Next slide, please. Okay, changing gears. I want to celebrate a little bit about 100 years of Toastmasters. This all began in 1924 at a YMCA in Santa Ana, California. And I won't read all the information on the slides. You can do that on your own. I just want to point out a few things. 1933, Toastmasters became international with a club. Actually, they were international before that because they had clubs in Canada. But they crossed the pond, as we say, to England in 1933. 1962, unfortunately, our leader, Ralph Smedley, passed away. But Toastmasters kept going. This may surprise you. It wasn't until 1970 that the first when the DTM program was introduced. So they had the manuals, and you could be a competent communicator and those types of things, a competent Toastmaster. And 1973, a very big year for Toastmasters, was the year that women were first admitted as members. And there's a fun story there about how Helen Blanchard put her name in as H. Blanchard. And so we need to have a first name, because, oh, well, it's Homer. So eventually they did recognize her as a woman. Next slide, please. So Toastmasters continues to evolve, but it's still very close to what Ralph Smedley was looking for 100 years ago. We're a global network of clubs where members learn to be dynamic communicators and leaders, fostering friendship in the process. You all know about this, that it is, did we lose our slides? We're almost done. That it's, it's all peer supported. We don't have anybody we have a Toastmaster, but we don't have anybody who is really in charge, thank you, of each meeting. So what does the next 100 years bring? Next slide, please. I don't have a crystal ball, but we know that, as I said, we're doing a new realignment this year based on 14 Toastmaster regions. We continue to strengthen the Pathways program. You all saw I'm sure you all saw the new base camp. There's also new processes right now for bringing in prospective members, and that process has become more automated. That just happened in November. And of course, we have the alliance with Rotary. Next slide, please. So Roddy Spear, our international president, spoke, no, she didn't speak, it was in the October issue of the Toastmaster magazine. Said, if you want to honor Ralph Smedley in this 100th anniversary, continue on your path, mentor somebody. I was very pleased to see that one. She had the +1 pledge. So we're talking about we're bringing 5 new members, have guests at every meeting, and 5 new members. +1 pledge is that each person would bring somebody new would bring 1 new person to a Toastmaster meeting by December. And you can donate to the Smedley Fund. The Smedley Fund helps Toastmasters in need, and it's not just about helping people to join Toastmasters if there are wars, fires, floods, famine, those types of things. Toastmasters will offer support. So it's nice to hear that we are community oriented. Next slide, please. The Toastmasters, what does Toastmasters do? We all know this. Builds communication and leadership skills. It helps us to gain confidence, new challenges, and it can help in our career paths. Next slide, please. So again, I love quotes, and Ralph was great for those. Leadership is the capacity to look ahead, think ahead, plan ahead, and influence other people to go ahead on the plan. So we need to have a plan, we need to know where we're headed. Otherwise, I don't have this on a slide, but a plan, a goal without a plan is just a dream. So we have a few minutes left. Does anybody have any questions? If you're online, you can put them in the chat. If you're in person, we can moderate that.
What's your biggest growth as becoming a region advisor? Your personal growth?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? Something about becoming a region advisor?
What is the biggest growth in terms of personal growth that you've experienced being a region advisor?
Oh, thank you for asking that. What I realized is that just as every club is different, every district is different. So as a region advisor, I'm working with 6 districts. Last year I worked with 8 districts, but we did some realigning. And you think that the same way when you become an area director and you go visit a club, and I remember going thinking, well, we do our table topics at the beginning of the meeting, not at the end. And the same way every district does things, just we all have the same core values, we all have the same goals to become distinguished, to serve our members. But sometimes I think we just get set in our ways and we don't realize that there are multiple ways to accomplish things. So that has really helped me. It's also helped me to listen more. So I said, not direct people. You want to come in sometimes, you're like, if only they would do such and such. And you can't do it, you have to help them. These people know their districts. They know what they need to do. It's just a question of helping them to find those answers and to bring them out. And there was a question in the chat. How do you encourage people to step up to officer roles? Thank you, Liz. You need to do it. So I think that people make a mistake of saying, we really need somebody to be PRM, or we really need somebody to do whatever, to chair our holiday party. And instead, you should take it from another point of view of looking at the person and saying, I see that you are really great at promoting our Toastmasters, things that we're doing in the club. We would really benefit if you could help us by being the PRM. So take it as what they can do, not so much as, we need, we're desperate. As take it as, something that you're complimenting them and benefiting from what they're doing. Here's another question in the chat. From Kathy Cullen. What are some good ways to interact with members outside meetings? Well, there's 2 ways. There's just talking to people. I went to a club meeting. This was a President's Distinguished Club year after year, and I personally did not like that club because they came in, they had their meeting, they all went home. Nobody spoke to anybody. So just chatting with people if there's a break or as the meeting is ending, try to grab somebody, or before the meeting starts. Come to training outside your club, come to district events. If you are a club officer, you may have area, you should I don't know if every area director does this, but you should have, there could be opportunity for area council meetings, division council meeting, and division council would be for area directors. And just, the opportunities are out there, you just need to take advantage. The thing about Toastmasters, like so many things, is you take away what you put in. So opportunities are there. Do we have one more question in person, or we will stop here?
I think we're close to the next time,
Okay.
so.
Terrific thing.
One of the questions.
All righty, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Linda. There were some great tidbits of information there, but I think this is a really great time to put Kathy Wolf on the spot. Would you like to share our new clubs in District 13? What are the new clubs?
So our first new club of the year, our club president is right here, so stand up, Don, is APA
You did speak to the microphone, we can't hear you online.
Oh, that one.
Okay. For those who didn't hear it online, we have a new corporate club. How about now? First new club of the year, chartered in October on the 14th, I believe. NED APA All-Stars. It is a corporate club for Comcast. Club president is here today, doing a training. Our second new club of the year is the Thermo Fisher Toastmasters, started by our Division A Director, Julia Wick, who is here. Okay. Our third new club of the year is working on their paperwork and getting all official. They're chartering in December. Will be the Mounties Toastmasters from Mount Aloysius College. We do have other new clubs that are on the way, so if you're looking for some outside of your Toastmasters club thing to do, I can use some mentors. One for Thermo Fisher. We're working on one for the Mounties. We also have a new club coming for Calgon Carbon, and we have a few opportunities in West Virginia. So.
Thank you, Kathy. Our next speaker is Dave Jones, DTM, is a long-standing member of the Johnstown Toastmasters, joining in 2008. With a rich history of leadership and service, he has held various club officer roles multiple times and served as both a past governor and district governor of District 13. Dave's passion for artificial intelligence began during his 10-year active duty service in the U.S. Army, where he worked in military intelligence as a Russian translator, including service during Desert Storm. Thank you for your service. Following his military career, he transitioned to the corporate world, building a successful career in product management and marketing for several companies. He currently works at Drive DeVilbiss Healthcare, a proud sponsor of the District 13 Leadership Institute. As a speaker at the District 13 Winter Leadership Institute, Dave will share his expertise on leveraging AI as leaders and speakers. His presentation will provide practical insights into using AI ethically and effectively in marketing, communication, and leadership roles. Outside Toastmasters, Dave enjoys spending time with his wife, Mary, his prom date for life, and their adult children. They reside in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. Dave Jones.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. For those of you who've never been involved in one of these events before, there is so much that goes on to prepare for it, and stuff that happens on the day of the event that it just makes things that have to change. And those of us who are here and those who are online don't realize the amount of preparation and work that goes through. And one of those things I think that we need to stop right this moment and appreciate is the young man back here, Steve Sokolowski. Steve is a wizard at everything that helps make these events go successfully. So I'd like to first identify who in the room or online is a subject matter expert in artificial intelligence. You've got a master's degree, PhD, anybody? I just want to make sure who I avoid eye contact with. How many of you use artificial intelligence every day? Raise your hands. Quite a few. How many of you said, I never use it? Raise your hand. Fibber, 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 fibber. Did you get here today using GPS? Oh. Ooh. Have you shopped online and said, oh my goodness, how did they know I would like that? Have you gotten and looked at your spam folder and said, oh, how did these get here? AI put them there. AI is a great tool, and I'm excited by it. I call myself an AI enthusiast. I'm not an expert. I'm just somebody who uses it. I'd like to help you better understand it so you can use it. We use it in our club a lot. We use it to promote our club. I hope some of you will take away some ideas on how to use it. But I want you to understand how also not to use it. Now my screen doesn't want to work for me. We'll do this. We'll do it this way.
Call AI.
Yeah, we'll call AI. Come help me. So on our agenda today, we're going to talk about a little bit of introduction to AI. We're also going to talk about, turn you off. We're going to talk about leveraging AI for enhanced communication. AI in Toastmasters? Possible? Sure. With some constraints. Some ethical considerations. We're going to cover those. Some future trends. And then we're going to actually do some exercises. We're going to interact with AI. So, I talked a little bit about how I've used AI in the past. I want to share with you a boo-boo that happened with me and AI. I was composing an email to a customer, and I was going to send them some software. And I composed an email with voice recognition, which is AI. And I said, I will be sending you the software by Overnight Express. A few moments later, I got his reply. What time does she arrive, and what does she look like? I went back and looked at my email. I got it a little bit wrong, just a little bit. Software was interpreted as sophomore. Ouch. Little tip of the hat to Darren LaCroix. Ouch. There was another famous example of somebody who used AI inappropriately. Anybody know an attorney named Stephen Schwartz? Is he's your attorney? I advise you to get a new one. Stephen Schwartz was doing a case about somebody who had an injury on an airline. They'd gotten the big metal cart, they rolled down the aisle and smacked him in the leg. And they were claiming that they had injuries. Mr. Schwartz, who was maybe not all up on doing his research, he said, I'll use ChatGPT. I'll let it find me case studies that I can present for, well, this case says that it happened in this case. I want to share a little secret with you. Promise not to tell anybody if I tell you this, right? Everybody pinky swear? AI makes things up. Mr. Schwartz asked it to give him case precedents, and it did. They had real sounding names. Russell Drake was injured on this flight, and he had the same exact injury and got $1 million. But it was made up. I've had that same experience where I've asked AI, hey, give me some websites where I can go to learn how to do this, or learn how to do that, or study this. And it gave me back some information. And I clicked on it, and there's no such website. Those are known in the AI world as hallucinations. If you're using AI, address the ethical concerns. And if you're using AI, acknowledge it to your consumers that you're using AI. Confession time. My entire presentation today was created by AI. That's it. I discovered myself. I also want to talk a little bit about where did AI come from? How many of you think AI came around like within the last 2, 3, 4 years? I recall being in the military back in the... And we were doing speech recognition. Back then it was called voice recognition. We were just hoping the computer would recognize we were humans. And it was with a company called Kurzweil. Anybody remember that name from way back? We had to speak in what was called differentiated speech patterns. We couldn't speak like we are now, like I'm doing. You had to speak like this in order for the computer to properly recognize you. And we thought it was fantastic. Wow. We were in for a surprise, right? Look how far we've come. AI has been around really since, does anybody know? You guys are eliminated by experts. You're out. You don't play in this game. 1948. 1948. They started saying, how can these computers help us better understand? Sandy Trevani and I used to work for a company where there was a doctor who said, I want computers to help me take a patient's paper health record and put it into a computer. And the people in the room who were helping consider his investment went, you're an idiot. Duh. Electronic patient records, we all have them now. I also want to talk about AI in Toastmasters programs. How many of you have gone to or looked at the Johnstown Toastmasters Facebook page? If you haven't, I encourage you to do it. Why? Every meeting that we have, our Vice President of Public Relations takes our agenda and puts it into AI and says, create me a social media post that is heartwarming and enthusiastic and inspiring to create for Facebook. And within a few seconds, out pops this wonderful thing, and then she takes it and marries it up with some pictures from our meeting. Mind-blowing, right? It doesn't end there. She will then take it and put it into the same AI, I think she uses ChatGPT. And she'll say, now I want you to make it something for LinkedIn. Because LinkedIn and Facebook, social, fun, happy, professional LinkedIn, right? And it changes it in a matter of seconds. So that it's something appropriate, because we all know, being Toastmasters, know your audience, right? Everybody do the bob and head doll signal. Know your audience. So you can enhance your club meetings with this. That's great. You can also use it for training and development. I do this every day. Excuse me. I have, how many of you are salespeople in the room? Anybody? A few of you, okay, so I'm going to insult you now. I have a lot of salespeople who, as a product manager, they come to me every day. And I love it. They come to me every day with the most silly, ridiculous, common questions they should know the answers to. Dave, what's the part number of the 5-liter concentrator? Heck if I know. Dave, how often should the filters be replaced on the portable oxygen concentrator? It's a great question. Wish I knew. I use AI to say, go find me the answer for that. Look in our documentation and find me the answer, and boom, there it is. We're going to talk a little bit about that. And we're also going to do some case studies here. So, the first thing, whoop, I think I did it. I did it.
We're taking bets on that.
How long until Dave steps on the cord and pulls it out of the wall? At least I didn't have to call Steve back up and say, help, I broke it. Choosing a platform. There's a lot of platforms out there. You might choose ChatGPT. Who here has interacted with ChatGPT? Raise your hand in person. Yeah, a lot of us, okay. Okay, warning, 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 Will Robinson, warning. Be careful what you put in there. Whatever you put in there becomes their property. And anybody else can access it in the publicly available model. It's known in the, my fellows will help me out here, it's known as a large language model. What's that mean? Consider it this way. It's a library. It's stuff people put in there. Now, I've extended that description to say it's a landfill. It's filled with trash. The large language model has things that everybody's putting in there. And you're searching it, and it does it at incredible speed. And sometimes with incredible accuracy. Always check what you get out. Don't be a Stephen Schwartz. The other thing is, I'll call out Microsoft Copilot. I'm involved in a proof of concept experiment within my company where we're trying out these platforms. And I'm on Team Copilot. Yay, Team Copilot. Boo, Team ChatGPT. We also have a team exploring Gemini. We have another team exploring some others. But choose your platform. On the GPT side, I like it because, well, it's free for the large language model. There's also a paid version of ChatGPT. I think it's about $20 a month. Okay? Now, how would I differentiate the free version from the paid version? Let's go back to my landfill description. The free version is the landfill. All acres and acres and acres of the trash. The paid version is the landfill, but where they say, over here's where we keep the really good trash. It's versatile. You can get it on the internet. You can get it on your phone. And it's available easily. The downside, the inaccuracies. You're looking through the trash. The ethical and legal concerns. Don't claim something as yours when it came from ChatGPT because it may come back to bite you in the butt. I think that was a quote from a gentleman named Steve Schwartz. Yeah, that was his name. And it has some biases. It'll look at things in a certain way. Now, some of my experts here will tell you, they're now training ChatGPT to understand emotions. On our way down, Sandy and I were chatting, and she said, I asked her in the car, I said, have you used artificial intelligence? She said, yeah, some of these automated phone systems. Let me give you a tip, and I shared this with Sandy. AI does not recognize emotions. So when you take your cell phone and you say, I want to speak to a representative, it doesn't get it. On the Microsoft Copilot side, there's some pros. The integration. Copilot is by Microsoft, and they've made some really cool links where it's linked into Outlook. How many of you got one of those emails? It's like, you're the 13th person to receive it. And now you gotta look back through all of that crap and stuff and determine what was said before it. I don't do that anymore. I just click a button that says summarize. And it says, so-and-so said this, so-and-so said, kind of bullet points. And then I can say, okay, craft a reply. Make me sound intelligent. Some of you have seen the commercial on TV where the guy's swinging the rope of paper clips, and he sends it off and says, hey, I think this presentation needs a little zhuzhing. And his boss looks at it and he says, I think we could better appropriate this if we did this. Collaboration. You can share these things in Copilot. It's integrated into Excel, it's integrated into PowerPoint, it's integrated into Microsoft Teams, into Outlook, Power BI. The cons, there's a bit of a learning curve on the Microsoft Copilot side. But Microsoft, they've got a fix for that. They have a service called Microsoft Learn. But, okay, the downside there is they got to charge you for it. The performance issues can sometimes be a little wonky, doesn't respond quite as well, quite as quickly as ChatGPT. And then the cost. The next thing I'd like to talk to you about is something you've probably done, everybody's done it if you've used AI, is your prompt engineering. Prompt engineering? I'm not an engineer. I don't drive a train. Prompt engineering is what you tell AI in order to get something back. And I've created an acronym. I call it CLEAR. Easy to remember, right? CLEAR? It's clear. So what you want to do is you want to give it context. What are you asking it for? This is the part where everybody pulls out their phone and takes a picture. Oh, that's cool. He came up with something good. What's the length you want it? I want this to be something somebody can read in 30 seconds. What are some examples? Here's an example of an email I want you to replicate, or here's an example of a PowerPoint, so on and so forth. Who's your audience? The A. I'm speaking to a group of Toastmasters. I want to create a presentation for them that will be exciting and enthusiastic about AI. And then the R. What are the requirements? I want you to use this data. I don't want you to use that. I want you to have some humor in it. I don't want you to have humor, so on and so forth. Clear. I think that's pretty clear, don't you? So now we're going to get into some demonstrations. Are any of you familiar with a service called Yodlee? Sure. They advertise it through Toastmasters. It's available. Yodlee is powered by AI. Transparency and full confession. While no longer, I used to be a Yodlee ambassador. I'm not anymore. Yodlee ambassador were people who went out promoting the company. They were a startup. They were looking to grow their name, and I helped them for a bit. I'm no longer. So If you like Yodlee, fine. If you have a membership, fine. If you don't, fine. They offer a free membership that'll give you what they call yodels. You get, I think, 3 of those. And if you pay for it, you can get more. If you pay more, you get more. But you can practice things like, I want to practice an interview. I want to practice my speech. And the AI tool will use the camera to observe your eye contact. It will check your, what do they call it? What's that term called? Oh my, gee whiz. Verbal disfluencies. It'll tell you, and it creates a transcript so you can see them. That's scary. You can use it. There's some games on there that I like where you can, it'll pop up a word and now you've got to start a sentence. And it'll pop up a word and now you've got to use it. And then 10 seconds later it'll pop up another word and now it makes you think on your feet. Pretty cool. Here's something that I really like at the bottom of the screen here. There's some examples here where you can create your own scenario. Bob's going to pay attention to this. He whole cold sales call. Ooh, love those. Customer support. You can select one of these options down here. Some other ones: manager, skill training, performance review, inbound customer discovery. You can click on these, and an artificial intelligent bot, complete with an avatar, will pop up and interact with you. I did this as I was preparing for this session, and I said, help me better prepare for this. And at the end of it, she basically said, Dave, you're an idiot. No, she didn't. But it guides, in real time, it was asking me questions that I should be prepared for before I came here. Like, Dave, don't make it too dry and boring. Introduce some humor, Dave. Anybody here a fan of 2001: A Space Odyssey? I was like, is this AI bot a fan of that movie? A little side note for you. I've trained my AI agent and told it, I will refer to you as Hal. If you're not familiar with the movie 2001, check it out. And of course they come back and say, Dave, that's very unusual. Why are you doing that? This is one tool that you can use. There are some others. I'd like to hear from you. What's an example of you say, well, here's something I struggle with. Doesn't have to be related to Toastmasters. Here's something I struggle with. Let's explore how we can try to use AI for that. So this is the part where somebody brave raises their hand. Oh, like this lady right here. And says, hi Dave, here's my challenge. They're going to get you a microphone.
Dave, I was wondering if there's...
Is that the computer talking? That's soft voice. Did I do it again? Dave did it again.
Speak into it this way. There. Yeah.
Okay, Dave, I was wondering if you could show us some ways that, excuse me, we might find new members with AI.
Ooh, that's a good one. Let me ask you this. Steve, I think I pooched it here. Do I need to flip something? I stepped on the cord and it disconnected. Do I need to flip
I don't know what that.
Outlet?
I could take a look.
Okay. So let me ask you this. What platform are you familiar with?
I've used ChatGPT. I've used Gemini.
Okay. So you know what? Let's use Gemini. Everybody know what Gemini is? Gemini is an AI app. I have it on my phone. And we're going to use a Gemini to do this. So you probably can't see this real good, but it says, hello, Dave. That's because of my name, not because of the movie. So what was your question again? Restate it for me.
How can we use AI to find new members, new Toastmaster club members?
Good morning, Gemini. I'm hosting a conference right now where we're looking to get new members to join an organization called Toastmasters. Can you provide some suggestions for us?
Good morning. Here are some suggestions to attract new members to your Toastmasters organization at your conference. Engage with attendees. Set up a booth or table where you can talk to people about the benefits of joining Toastmasters. Have members present to answer questions and share their experiences. Highlight the benefits. Focus on the specific advantages Toastmasters offers, such as improved public speaking skills, increased confidence, and leadership development.
It goes on. It'll probably be another 3 or 4 minutes before I do that, but I could say, well, that's all great. Let's do it. That's all great, but I'm looking for ideas that would be specific to Johnstown, Pennsylvania. Provide me some better suggestions.
Here are some ideas tailored to attracting new members to your Toastmasters organization in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. Leverage local connections. Partner with local businesses. Collaborate with local businesses like universities, colleges, and companies to offer workshops or guest speaker opportunities. Network with community organizations. Reach out to organizations like the Chamber of Commerce, Rotary Club.
Very straightforward, right? Now, is that applause for Gemini or for me? Yes. Oh, okay. Thank you. Dave, don't step on the cable again, you knucklehead. Give me another example. Who's got one? Let's make it non-Toastmasters. Somebody's got one?
Ask online, too.
There's one here. There's a couple.
So help with selling myself in an attempt to gain new employment.
Oh, ooh. So let me ask you a little bit of a question. What job would you like to have?
A senior product manager position.
Senior, he wants my job.
Repeat that. Repeat that for the online people.
A senior product manager position.
Senior
Dave.
product manager. This guy's good. Have you considered an employment in the comedy field?
I have, Dave.
Obviously a Stanley Kubrick fan. Give me some ideas on where to look and questions to anticipate for a senior product manager position. Where at?
A health-related company. Health technology, digital health, health devices, those kinds of things, Dave.
So I think I pooched it here and it's not showing on screen, but it came back and provided me questions for the interviewer. What to ask them, rather than just go to the interview and say, wait for them to say, well, tell me about yourself, tell me about this. Interviews go, as we all know, interviews go a lot better if you ask them some questions. Tell me about this specific role. What are the challenges? Is this a new position or am I replacing somebody? What if you were able to rehearse that interview before you ever got there? Would that be helpful?
Yes, Dave.
We didn't plan this, I swear. I swear. You and I are going on the road. I'm doing this same presentation. What's McKinley's division?
He's the program quality director, District 77 down in Alabama, Florida.
I'm doing this same presentation for them in January, so any feedback you have would be appreciated. So
this is the beta.
Yeah, this is the beta. We're training the language model. So we could do that through yodeling. We could practice the interview. Many interviews today are done first how? Online. So if you could get feedback on interviewing for a senior product manager, the questions you're going to be asked, how to answer them, and how well your answers responded to the questions, and even suggestions on how to improve your answers. Mind blown. I apologize that I stepped on the cord and broke it. It's not showing on the screen. It's part of my presentation. Give me another example. Somebody else had one back here? Anybody online? I can't see it online. We have another one? I know there was another hand back here somewhere. Somebody had one. How about this? You're planning a special event. Oh, there it is. Thank you. Thank you so much. So we're going to go here, and we're going to go into...
Is this going to be a trashy event?
Yes, it is.
Now, everybody knows I'm looking for a new job. That's not good for me. You have only 6 people.
Well, my Udemy account signed out of me. For the sake of time, let's say you were planning a special event. Oh, this young lady, you just planned a special event, didn't you? You had a red carpet event for your Toastmasters. You could say, we're going to host this event. Give it the clear, what is the context? We're hosting this event, open house, new member orientation, da-da-da-da-da-da. What's the L? Clear? Who remembers? Length. We want it to be 2 minutes in length. We want it to be 20 minutes in length. The event is going to be 3 hours, whatever have you. What's the E? Examples. We've done this in the past. We've had some guest speakers. We've done this. We've done that. What's the A? Audience. Who's your audience? This is for people unfamiliar with Toastmasters. They know nothing about us and requirements. I want it in a PowerPoint presentation. I want it in a table format with timelines. Think of AI as your personal assistant. I always wanted a personal assistant. I wanted somebody I could say, my kids used to be, go give me this, go do that, give me a screwdriver. Now my AI becomes my personal assistant. I tell it, I want you to design a training program for me that will help me become an expert in AI. I want it to be starting at a beginner level and go through an advanced level. I want to spend 20 minutes a day. I want to learn Copilot. I want to learn ChatGPT. I want to learn Gemini. I'm the audience. And my requirements are, I gave you one earlier, it's 20 minutes a day, and I don't want to do it on Saturdays and Sundays, and I want it to be fun. That's my clear. It can design that for me. And I actually did that in January 2023. 20 minutes a day, 5 days a week. I've invested about 300 hours in teaching myself AI. I've also taken some courses through defense contractors, Microsoft Learn, but this is available to you as well. AI is not challenging. AI is fun. What I want to close with is, how can you use this for your club? I mentioned this earlier. And of course, now my cursor doesn't like it. Anybody have a technology moment where technology just says, "Yeah, not gonna help you. I hate you, Dave." I'm having one of those moments. I would invite you to do this. Go on Facebook, go on LinkedIn, look up Johnstown Toastmasters. Look at some of the examples there. Look at opportunities of how you can use this. And the other thing is, if you have questions or comments, here's what I would ask you to do. Reach out to me. You got my name, Dave. Here's my phone number for those of you who might want to write it down, and I'll give you my email address as well. As long as you promise not to sign me up for any like goofy spam stuff. Area code 814-659-6261. Again, that's area code 814-659-6261. My email address is my last name, Jones, first three letters of my first name, DAV, 254. No, I wasn't born in 1954. That's the letters of my home address, or the numbers of my home address. jonesdav254@gmail.com. If you run into questions, give me a shout. Let me know how I can help you. Here's one other tip I'll offer you for this. And I did this when I was doing the VPPR training back last year. Yep. AI doesn't always get it right. And it may not understand you completely. So how do I fix that, Dave? Tell it. Here's the example I use. I want you to design a Facebook post that can be read in 30 seconds. I'm following the CLEAR model. I want you to use prior examples from this website. Put in your URL of it. Use the agenda from our most recent meeting. I'm giving it examples. That's my E, right? I want this to be inspiring to people who visit our Facebook page or are friends of members of our club. I want this to be read in 30 seconds or less. And then here's the part that's really key. Remember that instructor back in college that said, when he had something important to say, he would stomp his foot? Okay, this is my foot stomping moment. Those of you who are Grand Funk Railroad fans, there's your tip for that. Tell AI, if you have questions, say, hold on a minute. Put this right in your prompt. Close it with this. I give it my clear context, length, examples, audience, requirements, and then I close with, if you have questions, ask me. Otherwise, respond, let's go. And then when the output comes out, it says, let's go. Or it says, hold on, Dave, I have questions. Who are the people? Where are you targeting this? Is it Johnstown? Is it this? Is it that? And now you can re-engineer your prompt. This is one of the more valuable things for using AI that will help you be more successful. So, if you don't have a ChatGPT account yet, what's it cost to get one? Anybody? Zero for the large landfill. It's about $20 a month for the private landfill.
Still a landfill.
Still a landfill. The item I told you about, Copilot, the company I work for, they've invested in what they call a SML, or SLM, small language model. We curate what goes into our trash heap. So we put in the documents and the information, and we don't let others from outside come in and query our data. So Copilot does offer that again at a cost. Select your platform and play. Act as if it's your personal assistant. Ask it, how would I find a job? Where would I look? What are some things I should be prepared for? Maybe, here's my resume. Look at it and tell me how to make it better. Look at my resume and tell me how to get it past an ATS, applicant tracking system. Those are the things that scan your resume and say, nope, yes, nope. Use AI as your personal assistant. And then lastly, ask it for help. Ask it to give you, do you understand? And then if you do have questions, concerns, or problems, find somebody who is a AI expert, or seek out an enthusiast that can help you. We've got a couple of minutes. Let me ask if anyone has any questions before we close. Yes, sir. Let's get you a microphone so that everybody can hear you.
Thank you. You asked about, or talked about ChatGPT being a big landfill. What about the rest of them?
The free versions of any platform are trash heaps. And I say that with a little bit of tongue in cheek. They all have data that's in there because anybody can put data in. And once it's in there, it's in. Now they do have some curators who go around and clean up the trash heap. It's like the bulldozers at the landfill pushing the trash around. They do go in and curate it and clean it up. But buyer beware. The free versions have a lot of crap in them. Okay? They don't take out the recycling before they throw it in. Yeah, public pool. Sure, Stephanie.
So when we're talking about information that we want, that we desire, that we want to have, and you're describing it as a trash heap, if we want to get a certain quality of information, do we have to find certain AI programming that will kind of get that information from certain places? Is that available?
Sure. That's a great question. I would give you 2 bits of advice, Stephanie, and everybody else. First off, let me put it this way. What kind of car do you drive? A Honda. Do you like it? Have you ever tried a Toyota? No? They're really good cars. ChatGPT is really good. So is Copilot. So is Gemini. Go test drive them. Give them a try. See what they're like. Now, to your question about how do I make sure I'm not getting all that trash?
Quality of information as well.
The quality of information is, if you're using a free version, check it. Then check it again, and check it again. If you're using a paid version, check it, and check it again. Don't rely on it without questioning it. I want to thank you for your time and attention. I apologize for my technical snafus, Dave stepping on the cord and being an otherwise knucklehead, but I hope this has been beneficial to you, and I hope that you all can start employing artificial intelligence to leverage communication and leadership.
Nice.
Regularly, like all the time, and I make fun of him. And so when I had it on, he's like, "Really?" All right. Thank you, Dave. That was fun. Everything was very straightforward and pretty clear, Dave. I would like to highlight Melissa McGavick, a DTM and past international board member. Also, Karen Lund and Charlie Krebs, National Speakers Association. Thank you. Let's take a 15-minute break. Everyone's kind of squirming and ready to go walk around a little bit, go to the restroom. When we come back from the break, please find your club officer breakout room. Room assignments are in your program. Does everyone have a program? If you don't have one, Fred, where can they get a program? Okay. And of course, last but never least, Robert Humphreys, a past district governor. All right, follow the signs or ask someone for directions if this is your first time here, as it is mine. For those online, your online Toastmaster will now open up the breakout rooms. Be sure to be in your room, the room that you want, by 10:29. For those in person, lunch will
Hello, Toastmasters online. Are you enjoying the TLI so far?
One more second, I'm just wrapping up. For those in person, lunch will be ready just before noon. When you finish your breakout session, go ahead and serve yourself in the lunch buffet line. And this big room may not be open quite yet, but there are plenty of other tables and chairs nearby. Okay, let's take our break.
We have 5 votes for combined 7 votes. So many clubs are serving votes. Also combined, the parks and recreation members.
Mr. Drake.
Hey man, how are you?